where we
Well,
get
let me jump in and say it like this. It sounds like what you're more or less trying to say is that you being the successful black man that you are, you have a lot of skills,
Mhm.
tools, knowledge, and insights that could definitely help black men and by extension help black people. But they shut you off from the conversation, what you could possibly add to it. I mean, if you like, if I heard that correctly, you said you're worth $2 million. Like
Right.
people who are worth $2 million are typically in position to hire people, like are typically in position to create and build things that's going to help people, beyond yourself, so
yeah.
what you're saying is you have a lot to offer, but you tend to be shut out, pushed out, shut down when you try to offer it because, well, it looks like from the picture your wife is Asian. Is that more or less what you're saying? Yes or no?
Yes, but what the thing is that I find actually even more disturbing is that black men are generally receptive to it because they're like, hey, this guy's out here doing where I want. Black men are relatively receptive, right? What
Hmm.
I actually find more disturbing is a lot of black women, especially until they're like over the age of 50, because I have a lot of black female coworkers,
Mhm.
that I work with. They're cool with me, but 25 to 40, very, very, very hostile. It's
Okay.
very interesting.
All right.
For
All
some
right,
reason.
good. Good. I want to pass all the information we just gathered here. I want to pass that to Obsidian and see what his thoughts on it is.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with you at all. I'm sorry. What's your name again?
Christian.
Christian. Chris, I don't have any problem with you at all, man.
That's okay. I never said you guys did.
I have zero problem with you. As a matter of fact, I think you can contribute a whole lot to a prosperous Black American society. I think the difference is, see, I don't hear you coming through the door saying, my Asian wife, this, my Asian wife, that, black women, this, black women, that. You're not coming through the door with that.
No,
Not what I heard. What
no.
I heard was, I have something of value that I can contribute to the discourse among black men, and I'm getting guff for it.
No. So again, what I said, the thing that drew me to the manosphere content is it seems that it's very inclusive. But then when you go into non-black manosphere content, whether it's other black male content or even some of the black female centered content, it is not that same experience. What I was saying is I was trying to give accolades to the manosphere, saying how inclusive it is.
Okay, so let me come at it this way. What manosphere content do you think the black manosphere would do well to be more in alignment with and emulate?
So I could say the time frame in which I started watching the Manosphere, I feel like I came in during a time of, I would like to call it like the rise of the professional class.
Okay.
So that's when you're seeing, I feel like you're seeing more of like, you see the lead attorney, you
Okay.
see Anton Daniels, you see Pocket Watch with JT. These are
Mhm.
guys who, and you have Orlando Minor,
Right.
guys who are, they are kind of run of the mill men. They're black, they're men, but they're black, right?
Okay.
They're no different. These men would be no different than if you walked up to uh, an Asian man or a white man or a Hispanic man in a similar time and stage of their lives.
Okay.
And that's where I think us as a community have to get to, because that's uh, where you see that's like the baseline of a community. It feels like is so like my kids go to a Chinese school, and this Chinese school is complete on Saturdays for like learning Chinese and cultural stuff.
Okay.
So one of the things I noticed is all the all the families there, particularly like the men, they're not like these CEOs of these companies and things like that. They're run the mill, your average idiot run the street that's an accountant or an engineer or maybe a school teacher, and they have a fully self-funded school. Well, it's a fully self-funded school where the kids learn, Chinese or whatever. And then when they get to middle school, they learn computer programming. They learn, they have math. They have chemistry. They have all sorts of stuff. for their kids to get extra tutoring. But this stuff is completely self-funded. They're not getting government grants and doing things like that.
Okay.
But why is that possible? That it's possible because these are intact family units, and these intact family units, they have disposable income to make these investments. And again, it's not even that much money. Like, those are like examples of stuff that I see.
So are you saying that the problem that the Black manosphere needs to be talking more about building intact family units for the purpose of wealth building? Is that what you're getting at?
Well, that's the angle I always look at it from, right? Is because I look at it as that a lot of our problems in the Black community are centered from the lack of financial positioning, and so then all sorts of other bad things happen because of bad financial positioning. Because people start making, when people are under financial duress, they do all sorts of crazy stuff.
Right, but I'm trying to understand. It sounds like what you're saying is the source of the financial duress is the lack of Black intact families. Or did I misinterpret that?
No, yeah, you're 100% correct. I think that's
Okay.
ground
So
zero.
all right. So now the question becomes, how do we make that happen? You have a non-Black wife.
That is correct.
Okay. How do you make Black families when the man that's promoting it or proposing it has a non-Black wife?
And you know what? And I understand and I can understand how that can be problematic. I'm not going to say it isn't, but I look at it as the decision I made to who I married. That was a decision that I made, 12 years ago. And that's something else too. I think that the manosphere has to really get inside people's heads that this stuff does not happen overnight. That for you to go through life in an orderly fashion, this stuff might take, the results and fruits of your labor might take 8, 9, 10, 15 years. And oftentimes so I look at it as I'm 38. And like I said, this is something, I've been married 10 years. But I dated my wife for 6 years before we got married. So you start talking about a journey that started a long time ago at this point, right? So what we have to make sure people understand is that, so one of the thing that sticks with me, I guess I didn't answer your question well, and I apologize. Let me answer your direct question. How do we pitch that? Well, the way we pitch that is that if you have a stable environment, okay, for Black families, that people like myself would have available Black women to marry when we are looking for wives at that time frame in their life.
Did you say something, Brendan?
Oh no, I was saying I agree with his general point that if it's a long-term game, and
True.
if Black people did do better in the long-term game of building better families, there would be more Black men like him who, that when they reach that success and they want to get married and they're building that type of success, it would be more available, viable Black women that they would find to marry versus
Agreed.
dating or marrying out.
True.
I think what he's saying, and I'm with a lot of what he's saying, and I think he's looking at it like, well, we'll put it like this. This is the angle I want to take over, and this is actually something that O'Shea said, that when it comes to a Black person who, yes, he's married to somebody else, but he still cares about Black community issues. I think even O'Shea, and O'Shea is very pro-Black, I think O'Shea even said he can still have a voice, but not as prominent of a voice. And I think that's the middle ground that a lot of people come down on it. Like, nobody is going, like, if Robert Smith wants to donate some money, I mean, he's married to a non-Black woman. If he wants to donate some money, contribute and help out and do this and do that, I think that most people are okay with that and down with that and on board with that. But it's still just a certain element of his involvement as, the ultimate Black leader, that a lot of people just aren't going to view him as that. But I don't think he should be shunned outright. That's where it gets ridiculous when you
Well,
shun
here's
him.
the problem. Here's the
Go
problem.
ahead. Go ahead.
The problem for black men, and keeping in mind strategic singlehood, there's a name for it now by a black female academic. Her name is Jessica D. Moorman, Moorman, Wayne State University. Okay.
So Obsidian, you want to hear something?
Wait, hold on. Wait, let's let Obsidian build this up.
So we know now, not that we didn't before, but we have a black female academic documenting and identifying and giving a name to what a plurality of what black women are doing in our time today. So there's that. We got black women that want to be, they're not looking for, I'm just going to go ahead and say this. They're not looking for the Christians of the world. They're not. Okay, so there's that.
Yep.
All right. Then we have on the other side of it, we have black men like yourself, a small but steadily growing, and to be brutally frank, influential group of black men. We just talked about Robert F. Smith. So, I mean, these are black men that are influential, because the whole thing with Robert F. Smith, when that whole thing went down, was this. Okay, pro-black men that didn't like, Robert F. Smith doing what he did to set 400 black men financially free. You don't like it. Do better. Where is your billions to give to a HBCU like Morehouse? You step up and do it. You say, you know what, Robert, we appreciate the gesture, but we got it, brother. This is a family issue here. We got it. See, I didn't see any pro-black brothers stepping up and writing a check. Okay? And see, what we want to do, to how we want to square the circle is, we'll take your money, but you can't say nothing. See, that's how we want to play it. We'll take your money, but you can't say nothing. No. You got to pay the cost to be the boss. You want to do the pro-black game? Then put it on the wood. Put it on the wood for a black school for black men. Put it on the wood. I ain't seen near pro-black man step up and do that. All they got is a whole bunch of yapping. A whole bunch of yapping on YouTube. That's it.
Okay, so let me ask you this question then. So do you think the Robert Smiths of the world, who are married to non-black women, but they putting it on the wood, as you say, you think they then should have a voice?
You goddamn right. That's how it works in America.
I mean, the biggest voice.
Hell yeah. If somebody else can step up and put up a bigger check.
All right. No, I can vibe with that.
Yes.
And see, that's where I'm at. And see, that's where I'm at in 2022. See, if Christian or if Theo or if some other brother that, just happens to have a mate from another lady and they willing to put it on the wood, I'll listen to everything they got to say, unless I can do better. If I can do better, then that's a different conversation. But if I can't do no better and they putting up the wood, they putting it on the wood and anteing up, I'm listening to what they got to say. Yeah, they got a lot to say. That's how it works in America. See, only in black America do black men think that what they got to say or what's in their drawers should mean more than what's in their wallet or what's in their bank balance or what's in their portfolio. Only in black America is that true. Nowhere else in American life is that true. White people, Jewish people, Asian people, Hispanic people, Indian people, Pakistani people, Arab people, nobody else, gay, straight, Republican, Democrat, nobody else thinks that except in black America. In black America, the only men who think that just what they talk and their dick should override the Wall Street, should override Silicon Valley, should override, the futures market, should override all of that shit. Only in black America. See, I do believe, here's where I'm at with it. I do believe, as Bernard does, that, there should be more black couples. That ain't going to happen for free. You got to create the economic engine to make that happen. You got to have a hand in creating that engine. That means you got to help create more black men who can provide that. Now, if black women don't want to get on board, that's their problem. But I'm going to do my part to help create the kind of black men rather, that black women claim to want. I'm going to do my part. If they don't get on board with it, that's too bad. Because we're now taking bids from everybody. So that means Asian women, Hispanic women, Indian women, Jewish women, you name it. We're taking bids from everybody. If black women don't want to get on board, we're taking bids from the international market. That's on them. That's their problem.
So, Obsidian, Mr. Obsidian, and it's funny you mentioned that article because I actually graduated from that school. I'm from Detroit, actually. I graduated from that school. I graduated from that school. I actually donate to that university, believe it or not, and then also too, the funny part is the age ranges of the women, and they gave description of these women from 26 to 40 or 45. I felt like they were describing these women. I felt like I knew like 6 or 7 of them. It was kind of scary. Because you have to understand, being the age I am, high chance, I bet you I probably know some of these women, believe it or not. It's not, I mean, just tongue in cheek, I probably know them. The thing I find funny about it all is that I went in a couple of black female-centered spaces in the fall, and I tried to explain to them how my thought process worked. And it was like, we don't care about your thought process because your wife isn't black. And I said, well, again, you say you want this sort of man, and this is how I see things, and you can't get over who my wife is.
Oh, hold on a second. Was this a black woman you was talking to?
Oh, yeah. I was here on YouTube. Yeah.
So what you should have did, and if you ever run into a situation like this, for any brother that runs into a situation, you're in a similar situation as Chris, all you got to do is ask, okay, what color is your husband?
I actually brought it up. I said I actually told them, it was a group of women. I told them, I have the things that you say you want, and my wife has the thing you say you want, and I'm doing those things, and you guys don't have them, and you guys are telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about.
Well, yes. See, the thing about it, you just stop them dead in their tracks. What color is your husband? And then we can go to the next point. How much does he make? I guarantee in Detroit, I guarantee you the vast majority of black women ain't got no man making no money neither, ain't hitting on nothing. See, that's another problem that black Americans got. We have allowed the losers and the mediocre to basically cow the successful black folk. That's got to stop. That's got to stop. The black folks that are successful should be the ones running shit. Period. Not the losers, not the mediocre black folk. The black folk that actually can make shit happen. We should be running shit and tell them to go and sit down somewhere and take out their pencil and write.